Okay, so I'm just going to kick it off. We have a fantastic keynote speaker from Relevance, so please welcome Arun to the stage. He's going to give us a lot of info about banking and the cloud. So take it away, sir.
Thank you. Thanks again for joining me this morning. You could have been elsewhere, but you are here. I respect your time. So today's topic, banking and payment transformation through innovation and differentiation enabled by cloud technology. Quite mouthful, right? But I'll make it easy. So we are constantly hearing these insights from market leaders and industry experts about what to expect next and what we need to learn now so that we can start doing something. So many what's, right? So the famous author and motivational speaker, Simon Sinek, my favorite, he explains this idea of this golden circle model in his famous book, Start with Why. So what is absolute first circle? So we need to understand, right? So, and inside that what, there are two key essential circles are there. That is how and why. So in this session, I'm going to peel the first layer, what, deep dive into those inner circle, how and why. Then we will see how we can leverage cloud platform and why. So all those things I will explain. So this topic on purpose, we named that transformation, cloud, and all those things, right? So transformation, why we need to transform our business. The key idea here. So I'm starting this with, as Simon Sinek recommended, start with why. I'm starting with why. Why business transformation, right? So the key idea here, read your customer. So here read is mnemonic. On purpose, it is shuffled. So that is attract, engage, delight, and retain your customer. That is read your customer. On purpose, I kept R first. Retain your customer first. Then attract more new customers, engage and delight them. That's the whole idea. Okay, how to read your customer? By developing and delivering distinct and sophisticated solution to your customer, you can read your customer. That is number one. How to develop and deliver sophisticated solution? By leveraging powerful platforms that is available in the market, we would be able to do that. I meant the cloud. So, begin with, we need to understand and acknowledge this instant gratification culture, right? So that is what people expecting now. So having that said, people want access to their money instantly. Instant is the new standard now. That is on one side. On the other side, so new standards are emerging. There's ISO 20022. So that is giving a standard for making or processing this cross-border payment processing in a more secure way and a more transparent way. So these two, this instant gratification and this new standard that is making new key trends to emerge in the market. For example, autonomous payments, real-time payments, and super apps. So when we talk about business transformation, including these key trends into your business solution, you can read your customer. When it comes to implementation, as I mentioned before, leveraging the powerful cloud platform, we can make this a whole, introducing new feature into your business platform seamless. That is the overall idea. So I'm going to peel each and every new trends and explain, asking why and how, and make it easy for you. So number one is autonomous payment. So autonomous payment is enabled by this idea of open payments. So open payments is the concept of exposing your payment processing business functionality as the API to a third party, like a payment initiation processing service, that service provider, PISP. When they initiate this payment process, it will be received by this API, and it will make the whole payment process seamless, automatic. So that enables this autonomous payment possible. So IoT payment is one type of autonomous payment that is massively adopted by the industry. So if you look at the market share here, so in 2021, it was in the range of 15 billion. It is expected to reach 1 trillion, close to 1 trillion by 2024, and 2028 it is expected to reach 5.4 trillion. So that is where we are. And let's take a step back and see what is IoT. I'll give a quick 101 on IoT. So Internet of Things. So here things are nothing but devices, mostly smart devices. It will be connected with each other and also to a common cloud platform. It can continuously collect and communicate data. As part of it, it can also initiate this automatic or autonomous payment processing. So that is the whole idea of IoT. So when financial institution, when they plan to implement or make this autonomous payment processing happen possible, there are 4 stages are there. So number 1 is informational. So this is read only. So we can start doing something in a very simple way. So by doing that, so by in an informational way, what are we going to do? So we can leverage this voice assistant, and we can interact with the voice assistant to get information about our account balance and all those things. Next, we can take it to the next level of permissioned. So the frequency of making autonomous payment will be periodical. It could be monthly, it could be weekly, it could be yearly, periodical. So number of transactions we'll start doing, we'll making in an autonomous way. Then the third level is conditional. Based on some condition, here is what the autonomous activity comes inside the picture. Based on some condition, this IoT devices, the smart devices, will initiate the payment processing, and it will, leveraging the API, it will send the payment process request. And the last stage is fully autonomous, without any human intervention. So it will completely do this autonomous process. We can talk all the talk, right? So when it comes to implementation, so what are the things we need to consider? So there's IoT. IoT is a new, still it's a new idea. So 3 major cloud platforms, Azure, AWS, and GCP, they are providing all fundamental and sophisticated IoT service offerings. Leveraging that, we can onboard these IoT devices. So we can pre-configure this ownership and customer authorization for these IoT devices. So from that point, so even though we pre-authorized these devices for autonomous payment, if anything abnormal happens out of normal, then the AI and the ML model supported by these IoT devices, automatically it will trigger this user consent workflow to make sure that additional security is enforced for abnormal transactions. That's the idea. So once that concern is addressed and identified this is a valid transaction, then leveraging this standard ISO 20022, those standards, these payment process requests will be sent to this payment gateway, leveraging the open standard and open payment API. And we can make the whole transaction or whole process real time. Did I say real time? Yes, I did. So that takes us to our next topic. So money never sleeps. If you don't give sleeping dose to money, it will never sleep. We are kind of putting money to sleep, making this whole transaction to wait, right? So how to make this whole transaction real time? That is where this real time processing comes inside the picture. So around 80 countries around the world already adopted one or another form of this real time payment processing. In North America, US and Canada, mainly these 2 countries are lagging in this whole real-time processing. In my personal experience, I've been working with this financial institution almost 15 years. So in my personal experience, I have seen that what exactly limiting this real-time payment processing. This is my personal opinion, right? So the infrastructure leveraged by financial institution, that is the major area, or that is the major concern, limiting the ability of a financial institution to support this real-time payment processing. So when we talk about real-time payment processing, there is a key here, that is validating the transaction first before completing it. So validation and the complete transaction must be executed within few microseconds, not millisecond, microsecond. So the infrastructure is not capable right now because it couldn't scale really well. So that is one problem. When we talk about fraud detection, right, then there is already AML and fraud system in place already, right? But problem with that, so they predominantly support only batch processing. We are talking about instant processing, right? So that modularity is not there. They are monolithic in nature, so they cannot scale really well. So that is what exactly limiting the ability of the current financial system to support real-time payment processing. So having that said, this question comes to me. I ask myself, have anybody done that before in this scale, in this level, microsecond level validation? So yes, that is a good news. So New York Stock Exchange, they recently migrated their system from on-premises to one of the public cloud platform. Then after their migration, now they are able to process 500 billion messages. So each transaction takes less than 25 to 35 microseconds. So they are able to process that. And this is the reference architecture they shared for technologists to share their thought. And this is pretty solid. And they are leveraging stream processing and platform serverless offerings like a Lambda to make this a whole real-time trade surveillance possible. They are mainly doing this to fight fraud. So we could leverage this system like this to achieve real-time processing. So bank no need to jump into this grand wagon of real-time processing in one giant leap, right? So we can always start with something small that is like a self-surveillance fraud prevention. The UK banks are leveraging this idea of a confirmation of payee, something like we should be able to leverage. And the second step is moving our core system to public cloud offering. We can leverage out of the box a security service offering from cloud platform. We no need to reinvent the wheel. And currently we are supporting one of our customers to accelerate their trade processing using system like this. So we don't want to disturb the current flow. So we can introduce a gateway between the old system and the new system. The existing flow, functional flow, still continue leveraging the current system. And any new system, any new feature we are introducing inside our system can be redirected to this new powerful platform that could do this real-time processing pretty quick. So this is this is not theory anymore. We are already start to implement this for one of our customers for real-time trade processing. And so introducing these two new features, what we did, we enhanced our core system. This is the time to add more, right? So I mentioned about read, right? So by enhancing and enriching the core system, we attracted our customer and we deleted our customer. What about continuously engaging our customer? That is where this one-stop shop comes. So whenever the new customer or existing customer come to our system, we don't want them to go out of our system to do any operations, right? Then the continuous engagement breaks there. How to avoid it? That is where the super apps comes. So super apps are very famous in APAC region, and still it is new for North America. So this idea of super apps always start with one functionality. In software development, we call that as a solid pattern. Solid start with the yes. That is a single responsibility principle. Do one thing and do one thing really well. So take a platform that can scale really well, implement one functionality, gain customer trust. Once you gain your customer trust, you can add more functionality so that the chain of trust will continue, right? They will start consuming those features and they don't want to go out of your ecosystem. That is the whole idea behind these super apps. If you look at these super apps, WeChat and all those things, they started as an instant message or social media platform. They gained their trust. Then they introduced this payment processing and all those things. It became a super app. If you look at the evolution of super app, how any one app became super app, the key idea here is, as I said, scalable platform, one functionality really well, then integrate with, involve with third parties, and build a new application, integrate with your system, and make your app super app. That's the whole idea. So any financial institution, if they want to make their app into super app, you don't have to, again, jump into the grand wagon of super app, right? We can always go step by step. Slow and steady win the race, applicable here as well, right? Slow, how slow? So we need to understand that, right? Speed is again name of the game here. So two major components are there. One is a financial component and another one is a non-financial component. The two features what we discussed previously, autonomous payment, and the second one is a real-time payment. Introducing these two new features, we can make sure that our customers are enlightened. So that is financial component. The non-financial component is we need to understand the usage pattern of the user. So what they really want, in addition to what we are offering. For that, we can very well leverage the third party, collect data, make use of the data, make insight out of it, and make action out of it, right? So like that, we can add new features into our application. Then slowly we can make our app into super app, but not at the expense of not performing our core functionality. Core functionality is the key. We are building something on top of it. That is the whole idea of super app. So how cloud can help us in building this super app? Scalability, security, that is absolute two mandatory thing we need to consider, right? And these two are out of the box features from any cloud platform. So we can leverage all cloud service offering out of the box, then we can leverage it. For example, this API management, we can expose all our basic functionality as API. So leveraging that, any third party can build their application on top of it. API economy, you must be familiar to that, right? So how to build a new app? Cloud also offering this low-code, no-code platform. Leveraging that, any new application we can build within few minutes to a few hours. That is possible, right? So that comes to my last slide. So what we are relevance, we are 1,200 plus engineers organization. What do we do? As I said, we peel the what layer. We deep dive into how and why to make sure that we are able to, together, we are able to read our customer. That is, attract, primarily retain. That is number one. Retain, attract, delight, and continuously engage our customer. That is our whole idea. So as a technology partner, that is what we will do. Thank you. Any questions?
No questions?
Do you,
Here we go. Here we go.
when you talk about being able to deploy your services from 5 minutes, to a few days, when you talk about being able to deploy your services from minutes to days, because you're putting you have the framework
Yes.
already built, and you're just going to put a face on top of it, so to speak. How do you feel you can help your customers represent their product without it looking like other people's, making it unique?
So if I understand your question, well, help me to understand better. So how we help our customer?
Yeah, so you take something like Squarespace. Squarespace helps you build websites, but I think a lot of us know when you go to a website, you're like, that's a Squarespace website, because, well, not so much now because they have more options, but originally there were only a couple flavors. So when you're helping customers, right, they come to you and they say, hey, we want to put our spin on your frame. How do you help them make this look different so that it doesn't all look the same?
So understanding what customer wants first, right? So what do they need first? We will understand that first. So if we understand what customer wants, then based on that, leveraging existing frameworks available, then we can make customer product better. So that's what we do. Understanding customer need first, that's what we do. We will not offer whatever we have. You need to understand, based on that, we do recommendation. For example, currently our team working on some accelerator, so that will support building new API. So taking from development to prod all the way to prod in 1 hour, 60 minutes. So it comes with some preconditions, right? So we need to understand the business really well. So then we can make these things possible. The underlying layer will enable you to build it. It will take out all undifferentiated heavy lifting, like setting up your CI/CD pipeline and building the base model. All those things will be taken care by this framework, and all you have to do is write business logic. The business functionality is what customer wanted, not how we deploy, how we build our applications, right? So this is how we leverage the accelerator. What do we build? Did I answer your question?
You did. I mean, if I'm hearing you correctly, you are going to have a larger lead time. What do you need? What do you want it to look like? How do you want to build it? But the actual implementation in that short window. Like you can identify the customer's needs.
Yes.
And then from that, the actions after the fact.
Yeah, from once we understand the customer need, we'll split that into smaller functionality.
Yeah.
Then we'll go from there.
Excellent.
Okay. Any other questions?
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Arun.